Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Learn Linux TV. I'm really excited to bring you this brand new full course on Netdata, an awesome monitoring solution that enables you to monitor just about anything. Whether you use servers within business infrastructure or possibly your home lab, you can install Netdata on just about anything, and it monitors just about everything. In each video in this series, what I'm going to do is build your knowledge even further. And in this video in particular, what we're going to do is get an overview of this course and how it's structured. In the next video, we'll install it. And then from that point forward, I'll build your knowledge in each and every video until by the end of the series, you're going to be able to use Netdata as your daily monitoring solution. And Netdata is something you definitely shouldn't miss. It's a monitoring solution that enables you to more efficiently keep track of all of your servers. Once you install it, it'll profile your server and discover what's running on it. And once it does that, it'll open up a dashboard with all kinds of graphs and metrics that you could use to monitor various resources and services that you have installed. You can install it for free on as many servers as you want, with the cloud offering being a paid add-on that gives you even more value. It's easy to set up. In fact, it configures itself to monitor your servers without forcing you, the administrator, to hand-create config files. And in this course, you're going to see it in action. Anyway, like I mentioned earlier in this intro, we're going to see Netdata in action in this course, and I'm going to teach you Netdata one concept at a time in this 8-video course, and I can't wait to get started. What I'm going to do right now is give you an overview of how this course is structured and what you can expect from it, so let's get started. In regard to the course, let's spend a few moments and talk about what you'll actually be doing as you go along. As I mentioned, here in video number 1, we're going to focus on learning more about what Netdata is and how it benefits you. We'll talk a bit about its history, where it fits in within your infrastructure, and we'll also summarize its various features. In the second video, we'll work through setting up Netdata on a Linux virtual machine. You'll see the entire installation process, and we'll talk about some of its installation options as well as some methods you could use to integrate it within your environment. When we get to the third episode, we'll start to understand Netdata a bit better by taking a look around the dashboard, and you'll see how you go about accessing metrics and graphs. In episode 4, that's where we'll start to dive in more deeply to Netdata's feature set. In particular, this video will demonstrate how to view various metrics and also how to set up system health checks. With episode 5, we'll start to explore Netdata's logging functionality. We'll see how Netdata exposes your system's logs to the dashboard, and we'll also look at how to filter log events so you can find information you need quickly. When we arrive at episode 6, we'll explore alerting. It's one thing to see useful metrics for all of our servers, but it's even better when we receive alerts on important events we need to pay attention to, such as resource contention. This enables us to be proactive with server management rather than just being reactive. With episode 7, we'll take a look at troubleshooting some common pitfalls and gotchas. We'll learn how to deal with CPU spikes, finding unusual patterns, and pinpointing patterns we might need to be concerned about. Finally, with episode 8, we'll close out our journey by looking at best practices, such as keeping Netdata up to date, reviewing and optimizing alerts, accessing community help pages, and more. So, as you can see, we'll be learning a lot about Netdata throughout this course. But what I want to do right now is talk about what you'll need in order to follow along. Actually, you don't really need much of anything if you're merely watching and taking notes. However, to get the most out of this course, I urge you to follow along with me as we go through each activity. To do that, you'll need a few Linux servers to monitor. You could use real servers that you already have, but at the beginning it might make more sense to set up a handful of demo Linux servers instead of working directly with production servers. Once you finish the course, you could then take what you've learned and roll out Netdata across your entire infrastructure. Now, to be fair, I don't see any problem at all when it comes to installing Netdata on production servers, but company policy and best practice when it comes to evaluating a product or service is to test it in a sandbox environment and then graduate the solution to your production servers after you've spent some time learning it. That said, feel free to set up 3 or more Linux instances to get the most out of this course. You could consider cloud instances, such as those you could build on Akamai's or DigitalOcean's platform, physical servers if you have any, workstations, or even a combination of those. And it doesn't matter which distribution of Linux you're running either, since you only need one Netdata installer no matter what distro you happen to be using. So basically, if you have some Linux servers to experiment with, you're good to go. If not, it's really easy to build a Linux instance. Or you can even set up a virtual machine within a hypervisor such as VirtualBox, Proxmox, XCPNG, Hyper-V, or a similar solution. Once you do have a few instances, you'll be ready to get started. Now, before we go any further, I just wanted you guys to know that this entire series is being sponsored by Netdata themselves. But the thing is, I've been using Netdata for a very long time, even before they knew who I was. It's my preferred monitoring solution, so partnering with Netdata made a lot of sense. And you know what? That's how I normally do it. Whenever I discover an awesome piece of software, I try to make it a point to produce training content to teach you guys how to use it. But even when a video is being sponsored on this channel, that doesn't really make any difference for you guys, because all thoughts in all of my videos are always my own, regardless of whether the content is being sponsored or not. Before we move on to the next lesson, what I'll do right now is give you even more information on what Netdata is and how it works. It's important to keep in mind if some things don't quite make sense to you right now, don't worry about it. I'll give you more details about each of the things I'm going to mention here in this video when we naturally arrive at the topics through the course. That said, what exactly is Netdata and how does it work? Well, I already mentioned earlier in this episode that Netdata is a monitoring solution, so let's start there. To use Netdata on a Linux server, you'll install the Netdata agent. Once the Netdata agent is installed and running on a server, it builds a configuration profile for you and then begins monitoring that system. It'll expose a local web console that you'll access anytime you want to see metrics for that system. Each of the servers you install Netdata onto will have their own local dashboard for you to view metrics specific to that server. If you're like me and you have dozens of servers, or maybe even hundreds, it's not going to be very convenient for you to visit the local Netdata console on each server one by one. For that reason, Netdata also offers a paid cloud dashboard service you could use to view metrics for each of the servers you have it installed on, all in one place. When it comes to installing Netdata, it's super simple. You'll see the entire process in the next video, but as a small spoiler, there's a dedicated installation script that you'll use known as the Kickstart script. When you run it, it'll detect the Linux distribution that you're using, so that way you won't have to download a separate installer for each distro. Once it does finish installing, you'll make sure that the Netdata service is running, and that's about it. And the beauty of this is that you don't have to manually fine-tune Netdata to monitor your server. It figures out what to monitor on its own. For example, if you install Netdata on a database server, it'll customize itself to monitor your databases on top of typical metrics like storage and CPU. If you happen to install Netdata on a Kubernetes server, it'll customize itself to keep an eye on Kubernetes. So all you really have to do is install it, and most of your work is already done. From there, it's just a matter of learning where everything is on the dashboard and how to effectively find the information you need whenever you need it. Later, you'll see the process of joining nodes into the Netdata dashboard, so that way you could get a global view on the health of your overall infrastructure. Next, what I want to do right now is talk about the thought process when it comes to the decision that I've made to use Netdata internally here at Learn Linux TV. The thing is, it's really hard to run a company essentially by myself, so I really do need something that's easy to use that doesn't require me to babysit it. And when I evaluated all of the solutions out there, I came across Netdata and I was blown away. Like I mentioned earlier, you install it, it profiles your server and starts monitoring it, and that's about it. I needed something that was easy to use, but more importantly, I needed something that was going to be reliable and watch all of my important metrics. And every time I looked through the various solutions that were available, I always came back to Netdata, so I eventually started to use it internally, and it was a great decision. And because of the fact that I'm a small company, I generally don't like to use tools within my infrastructure that take a long time to tweak and maintain. Previously, I was using Nagios for monitoring my servers, which is another monitoring and alerting solution. Now, don't get me wrong, Nagios is actually a great solution, but the problem that I had with it is that I had to customize each and everything manually that it checks for. When I deployed a new server, I had to write a config file for Nagios and also simultaneously maintain an internal Git repository for storing my configuration. Nagios was very effective, but the management layer just took too much time, and time is something that I definitely can't get enough of. When it comes to my decision to use Netdata internally, it's removed a large amount of my management overhead. Within my infrastructure, I set it up automatically via my automation solution to get it installed on all of my servers. So every time I deploy a new server, Netdata is automatically installed for me. There's just nothing I have to do. I simply deploy a server and then metrics automatically start appearing within my Netdata Cloud dashboard. But even though Netdata is simple to install, it's definitely not a simple tool. There's countless things that you can measure and pay attention to, and a wealth of options and features that give you the ability to view metrics however you find most effective. So basically, Netdata is an advanced tool, but not advanced in the difficult sense. It just has a huge number of options and features to find your way through. But once you learn how to use it, then all you have to do going forward is utilize any new features they might introduce as they come out. Now what we're going to do is spend a few moments to discuss how Netdata compares to other solutions. The first thing to know about Netdata is that it can replace other monitoring tools that you might be using, but it doesn't have to. You could use it side by side with other tools that exist if you want to use it side by side with another solution. On my end, I also use Uptime Kuma in addition to Netdata, acting as a plan B in case I need it. I haven't needed to rely on Uptime Kuma since rolling out Netdata, but having a secondary tool can be beneficial. I'm going to leave that up to you, but my main point here is that as an administrator, you'll decide for yourself how Netdata fits in within your workflow. I've already mentioned Nagios, which is another popular monitoring solution within the industry. It's actually a great tool, and I've used it for years, but like I mentioned before, the management overhead with Nagios is relatively high. Nagios isn't really a set-it-and-forget-it solution. It's one of those things that you have to continually tweak, and one typo in a config file can bring the entire thing crashing down. For a large team, Nagios might not be so bad, but with me managing all of my servers by myself, it just got to be a pain. On the other hand, you have Zabbix, which is very similar to Nagios. However, Zabbix doesn't do a great job when it comes to making the latest version of its agent available for all of the distributions of Linux out there. So sometimes even just getting it to work in the first place can be troublesome. But to its credit, it's a bit easier to use when compared to Nagios. Netdata, like I mentioned earlier, doesn't need you to babysit it. You don't have to tweak config files anymore, as Netdata is self-sufficient. That also means I don't worry about breaking my entire Netdata installation with a single bad tweak. Another monitoring solution Netdata might be compared to is Grafana. Grafana has seen a pretty big boost in usage ever since Home Labs became popular, and with good reason. You can set up some fairly impressive graphs, and with the right tweaks, it looks great. However, Grafana is a pain to set up and configure, as it forces administrators to spend a great deal of time adjusting configuration, and sometimes getting it installed in the first place can be a small challenge depending on your comfort level. And it's not that setting up Grafana is beyond the skill set of my audience. In fact, quite the contrary. Quite a few people within my audience use Grafana daily with no issues at all. However, with time being an issue for me in particular, spending time to get something working and then spending more time to keep it configured just isn't something that I'm able to make time for. The reason why Grafana comes up as a point of comparison to Netdata is because Grafana is primarily used to display graphs just like Netdata is. But it doesn't do a whole lot more than that, and it's dedicated to graphs and metrics without itself being a full monitoring solution. Solutions like Nagios and Zabbix are able to display graphs as well, but they're not as effective at resource monitoring when compared to Netdata. For this reason, it's not uncommon to see a monitoring solution such as Nagios or Zabbix used side by side with Grafana, with one focusing on showing alerts and the other being focused on graphs. When it comes to Netdata, though, you can set up graphs and also receive important alerts all from one app. Next, I wanted to mention really quickly that Netdata doesn't actually store your data anywhere. And this is important for two reasons. That means it won't saturate your storage volume, and it also won't leave you open to data theft. In fact, the interesting thing is that Netdata streams metrics, but it doesn't store them. One of the great things about this is that you don't have to worry about Netdata itself filling up your storage volume. It's not actually storing anything. Instead, your server's metrics are streamed to Netdata, which enables its dashboards to show real-time per-second metric collections. If you opt to use Netdata's cloud service, then your information is streamed through that dashboard, which means data isn't collected even when you use that service. The value of this is that threat actors can't steal information that Netdata doesn't have in the first place, so even if Netdata did suffer a breach one day, your data is safe because they don't even have it. Now, I bet you're eager to get started with what we're going to be learning in this course. I know I am. But before we do, I wanted to spend a few minutes to give you some tips to help you get the most out of this course. And my first tip is to be hands-on along with me as we go through each activity. If you don't have any infrastructure that you could use or any ability to spin up a Linux server, you could certainly take notes. But to be really successful, I highly encourage you to work through each example and get hands-on experience. If you don't have access to a cloud provider, simply installing Linux VMs within a solution such as VirtualBox can be effective. If you're using Linux on your desktop, you can give GNOME Boxes a try. I have a video for that on my channel if you want to check that out. If you're using Fedora Workstation, then you already have GNOME Boxes installed, so you might as well give it a shot. Second, each video builds on the previous one. It's important to take your time and make sure that you understand each lesson before moving on to the next one. I know that kind of goes without saying, but sometimes when you're excited to learn something, you might be so excited that you just blow right through the material. Instead, make sure that you take your time and understand everything that we're doing, as each video again builds on the previous one. If something doesn't make sense, consider going through a lesson a second time. Don't get me wrong, Netdata is not hard to learn by any means, but when it comes to learning, it's important that we're getting the best results, and the only way we could do that is to take our time. Also, think about things that aren't necessarily broken, but take up a lot of your time. As we discover graphs and metrics throughout the series, you might think of ways to leverage these features for your benefit. If you're already fairly familiar with Linux administration, think about some of the things you've encountered in your travels as we go along. For example, if you've ever had a server or service stop working, think about what the lesson was that you learned. Keep these scenarios in the back of your mind, and then as we learn Netdata's features, think about how you might be able to leverage them to avoid pitfalls that you might have run into in the past. When it comes to being an effective administrator, being creative and applying real-life lessons to the tools that you're using is important. And that about does it for this particular episode within my new Netdata course. I hope you enjoyed it. In this particular video, we took a look at what exactly Netdata is, the problems that it aims to solve, and we also took a look at how this particular course is going to be structured, so that way you can get the most out of it. In the next video, we're going to actually install Netdata. I'll go over some of the various options for doing so, so I recommend that you have a few virtual machines handy, so that way you can follow along with me and get it installed. In the meantime, though, if you like this particular video, be sure to click that like button, and as soon as you're ready, I'll meet you over in the next video.